Hi there. Thank you so much for joining us today on Jimmy's Decorative Moments. We have a really great show ahead of us. I'll be interviewing Elizabeth Broyles of Columbus Hospitality Group, and we'll also be doing a small succulent garden terrarium demo. So first off, I'd like to thank our sponsors. Thank you so much to Be Our Guest Party Rental for all the beautiful set decor that you provided today. I'd also like to thank Janice and Glenn Williams of the Rosendale Arts Alliance for all of your support in starting the show and for your continual supports throughout. Without much further ado, I'd like to get started and introduce Elizabeth Broyles. Liz, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's been forever.
So
I feel
long.
like it's been like, I don't know, almost like 4 months, I would say, or something. Yeah. But we knew each other before.
Yes, absolutely.
At the Bullfinch Hotel.
Yeah.
What were you doing at the Bullfinch? Tell our guests.
So the Bullfinch was my very first job in Boston. As you know, I've been here now 11 years. So not to date either one of us, but it's probably been...
Wait a second, it was 11 years ago?
Yeah, I've been in Boston for 11 years.
Oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't think I remember the number. So
Yeah.
I've known you for 11 years?
I think so.
Wow, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So I moved to Boston right after I graduated from college and was fortunate enough to find this job at the Bullfinch Hotel. I graduated.
You can't say the Bullfinch Hotel without laughing and smiling. It's like the memories.
It definitely changed the course of my life for the better.
In what way?
Well, I really thought it was going to be my dream job because I graduated with a degree in hotel restaurant administration from Oklahoma State. And I've always loved working within an independent, unique restaurant within a hotel setting because I love not only building the clientele of your regular restaurant guests, but also seeing the same people who come back, week after week, month after month, coming to Boston. And if that hotel is their go-to, you really get a chance to develop a relationship with people, not just walking in off the street or coming to the restaurant before an event, but you really get an opportunity to develop a relationship. And so as much as it was, what I thought was going to be my dream job, it was a lot of work.
I remember.
Yeah, so you were a front desk agent.
Yes.
And then you and I both climbed the ranks. So through a series of changes and, management turnover, you and I both were afforded a lot of opportunities at that.
This is true. No, because it was small. And you're absolutely right. You couldn't have phrased that better because it's like all those people who went on and moved on only allowed these open doors for us.
Yes.
And so they flung wide open.
Yes.
And then, we just kind of walked through them.
Yeah. It was tough. And you were the general manager at one point.
So after a few years, I eventually became the GM of the hotel. So I started at the front desk, then I became operations supervisor, then you moved on.
Yeah.
And then I think at that point, I became operations manager. And then I think at AGM, and then I became the assistant general manager. And then I became the GM. So it was, and it was a lot of work, but I did love it. And I was very busy all the time. I worked every single day for a whole year. And then they sold the hotel. And it was sort of my first time realizing that I had worked so hard for something that really wasn't truly mine, so to speak. And then I kind of moved on and then I went on to work for like floral industry and events industry. And then finally we were united because of the events industry.
Yes.
Yeah. So now you're at...
I'm at Mooo Restaurant.
Okay,
with
nice.
the Columbus Hospitality
Where is
Group.
Mooo?
It's at Beacon Hill. It's on
I'm
Beacon Hill.
asking just in case anyone doesn't know,
Yeah.
but I know her.
I was going to say, you've been there a few
I've
times.
been there many times. Yeah.
It's at 15 Beacon Street. We're associated with 15 Beacon Hotel.
Which is close to the Bullfinch, because the Bullfinch was in the West End.
Yep.
And now that we're a restaurant.
Yeah, so here I am after 11 years,
It's almost like full circle in a way.
It really is.
Yeah.
So when I thought the Bullfinch was going to be my dream job, and it turned out not to be, it really, sort of helped me hone in those skills of 24-hour service. And, it never, obviously the restaurant never sleeps, but especially whenever you're associated with a hotel, it just is an ever-evolving, constant stream of activity. And so thankfully at Mooo, it's really it has come full circle, and now I have.
Because it is a boutique hotel.
It's a boutique restaurant
within a
yeah.
hotel, just like the Flatiron was a restaurant within the Bullfinch Hotel. It mirrors the Bullfinch in a lot of ways, but it's a much more evolved, elevated form of what you always dreamt of having.
Absolutely.
So I think that's perfect, actually.
Yeah, I would not be where I am today without.
And I agree with you. I wouldn't be. I know, and I agree.
I never
with you.
thought we would be saying that.
I never thought we would say that, but it's true because it's like. Yeah. And you know, it's funny, people now know me as, oh, Jimmy, floral designer and working on events. But really and truly, the Bullfinch Hotel was the most significant work experience of my life because it literally, I learned like organization, management, working all the time, working really hard, developing a strong work ethic, working with a lot of different personality types and not needing to navigate that and manage myself and negotiate myself gracefully within all these relationships. And it was like, and then, you know, you just kind of grow and evolve and you get mature. And then, for all those things and more, it was the most significant. And it totally changed the course of everything because I was able to like fall back on that to then, and apply that to like new settings kind of things. So here we are saying that after all these years. Like, so what are some of the things you do at Mooo Restaurant? Like,
so I am the private events manager.
Okay.
And I am very fortunate because it's not only Mooo Restaurant, but 15 Beacon Hotel. There are
so beautiful, so beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah,
and so there are smaller event spaces within the hotel, as well as they have the roof deck, which is available to me. So at Mooo we have one event space, which is the wine cellar. Stunning, you know.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I never, ever tire of that space because it's like. And even when I walk in, it's just like even the fragrances, the thing. And what I like is the consistency. It hasn't changed that much. Like it's sort of the same smells and sights and sounds. It's very well maintained. But I love that space so much.
It's so versatile. So for being a boutique restaurant and a boutique hotel, I am afforded so many opportunities. You know, each event is of course different, and so. The flower arrangements to the linen, to the lighting, to the music, to the wines, you know, it all sort of creates a perfect recipe, if you will. So
leading into my question, when you hear the phrase decorative moment, what does that mean to you?
Decorative moment. Well, just that. Like I said.
I agree. Yeah, what you just described.
Yeah.
I almost thought actually instead of saying the word recipe, you were gonna say decorative moment.
Oh, really?
You're like from the linens and the flowers and it's like it creates the perfect decorative moment.
Yeah. That's exactly what it means to me.
I think so. Yeah. I love that. No one has ever come on and said a decorative moment is almost like a recipe. Like, and I love that you work in a restaurant and that's sort of the ideology. It's like, because it's like you think of things as recipes. You're building blocks, things that you're putting together and melding together, and then it creates the ultimate, like the creation itself, you know?
So if you're thinking of food, you think of salt within a dish. It might not be a salty dish, but you of course need salt.
Yeah.
In order to make those other flavors pop. So from the flower arrangements, you know, you do absolutely beautiful work, but not only flowers, you have the lighting to go with it and the ambiance with the music and then the wines and the food and, you know, the place settings. It all really comes together and guests may or may not know or recognize.
You know what, Liz? They do know.
Yeah?
They know.
I think so. I don't think that they can
subconsciously, maybe not consciously, but they know. On some level, they know, because I think that when you walk into a space that is so well thought out and well planned and well designed, and you're a great planner, like your clients all love you. They always say positive things about you. They can't say enough about you. And I'm like, wow, that's always one of the things that impresses me the most. Like when I'm working with somebody at Mooo, first they gush about you. That's the first thing that, oh, Liz is so great. Oh my gosh, she's so professional. She gets back to us on time and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, shut up already.
My turn.
But it's like, no, it's so impressive. But it's like, and I feel that every time I've done an event there, you just feel like everyone knows what's going on. It's so well organized. It's so prepared. And you're really at the helm of that. Like you are the one who's like coordinating and selling these events in that space. So it's like, that is really impressive, and it's true. It's like none of these things can exist on their own and just be fantastic. Like they really things kind of live with other things, and like that's what, that's.
I think it starts from what's the expression? It starts from the head.
Ground up?
The ground up?
Or the ground
No,
up?
no,
Yeah.
the other
wait.
way.
It starts from the top up?
No, the top
Top down? It starts.
I don't, whatever this expression is.
Well, it starts from the top down, is what you mean, because what you're saying is Columbus hospitality as a structure is supportive of like excellence.
Yes.
In other words, yeah.
So therefore, I mean, I am fortunate. I just hit my 2-year anniversary. So.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wait, I can't believe that, because I started my company a year and a half ago. So you were only there for 6 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, that was my first wedding, actually, everybody, was at Mooo Restaurant. That was my first wedding as a new company, was at Mooo Restaurant. And it was like a New Year's Eve wedding.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my first photo shoot was at Mooo.
Yeah.
My first wedding was at Mooo.
Here, 11 years later. Yeah, 11 years later.
I know, that's so funny. Wow, so you just hit your 2 years. So like, how have things changed since you've been there? Like in terms of like your own comfort level and things like that?
It has really, my self-confidence has grown. I'm, always a confident person in my day-to-day life, but really being given an opportunity to just play with my own space, the wine cellar. I'm very fortunate to work with a lot of very intelligent, creative people, such as yourself. But having
I'm not that creative, and I'm sorry.
Oh, stop. Having the resources that I have at this particular point in my life has been proven to be very beneficial.
I was gonna say, because you work in a space that really is so, like the food is really top notch.
Yeah.
The wine is top notch, the service is top notch, the decor is top notch, it's very clean. So there's a lot there that is really, it's kind of awesome to be at the helm of all of that. That is your infrastructure, so to speak.
Well, I wish I could take credit for all of it.
Yeah.
But it really.
You mean you didn't build it yourself?
Well, I did send a few emails where they took my advice. But no, there's no expense spared.
I love that, and you feel that when you walk in.
Yeah.
You feel like no one's skimping, no one's
Yeah. So from the staff, to the management, to the food, to the quality of service, even the uniforms.
Yeah.
We take pride in what we do, and other places that I've worked at in the past.
We're not gonna name any names.
It
might be a place you've worked at together.
That's not what I was referring to.
Yeah.
But every place has its struggles. But I feel very, very lucky and fortunate to be where I am at this point in my life with all of the experience behind me.
I know, and you know what, Liz? Honestly, I feel the same way. Like I really, I have to say, I can kind of, I've gotten to a point where I'm like managing my time better.
Yep.
I'm saying yes to certain things. I'm saying no to certain things. And it's just like, I'm so happy that even if I wasn't busy at all, even if I was just like not doing anything, I'm just happy for the experience I've had, because I do feel it gives you a certain level of confidence. Like I could stop everything I'm doing and in 6 months start up again, and I feel like I'd be able to, and I think that comes with experience.
Yes.
So, and I agree with you. It's like, I finally feel like I have that feeling, like I'm in my own skin now, instead of like trying to craft something or do something. Yeah.
Well, I remember whenever we first ran into each other on that first wedding a year and a half ago, and you were saying, I'm a new company.
Yeah, okay.
I want to do 2 weddings a year, I think is what you told me.
Did I say that?
Yes, sir. You did.
Why? Why did I say? Why would I say that?
You had such a small team, and
Yeah.
you were really just trying to come into your own. So to see you blossom.
As I touch the marigolds. Marigolds are my favorite flower.
Yeah.
They're my favorite flower, marigolds. I love them so much.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah.
But to see you really come into your own has been absolutely.
It's kind of funny. And no, it is funny. The people who knew me at the beginning,
Yes.
and and now I'm like seeing you like a year and a half later, and it's like, hey, but that's funny that I said 2 weddings.
Yeah, you said 1 to 2 weddings a year. You didn't want to. You really wanted to give everything your all, and you didn't want to stretch yourself too thin, especially for being a brand new company, which I admire. So I felt a little hesitant every time I wanted to reach out to you.
Yeah.
I always did, and have you done 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 events with me?
Yeah. Oh my God.
So I'm happy that 2 events went out the window.
Which 2 events?
The 2 weddings.
Oh yeah.
2 a year. Gone.
I think that ended like right away.
Yep.
Yeah, no, because last year I did a bunch, and then this year is just crazy. But no, it's good. So I think we're actually gonna before we start our demo, because we're gonna do one of your favorite things at the terrarium,
Yes, I'm
succulent
very
garden. It's a little mix of both, but I think it's more succulent garden than terrarium, but it's inside a terrarium shaped vase. I just wanted to ask, could you leave our guests with any sort of like lasting impression of like, you know, what inspires you on a daily basis? Like, what inspires you on a daily basis to create these decorative moments in the restaurant, to give your guests that feeling that what inspires you to create a well thought out recipe?
Well, I think it's really about having that intuition, which you can't teach, and then really listening. So one reason I love what I do is because I get to meet so many people. And you know, the better that you understand people and their wants and needs, the more successful you're going to be. And you can know right away if you're going to be able to please somebody and to be able to deliver on something. And even if you don't know that, you know, if you're intuitively listening to somebody and really sort of gauging, you know, their vision, and you know, even by the course of emails and phone conversations, how they speak and how they handle themselves, you can really learn a lot. And being able to, we walk down the street and are not able to know how we affect people in our day-to-day lives. And you know, you walk down the street and you grab a coffee and you're going here and doing all of these, you know, random things that you have to do day to day. But for me, why I love what I do is because I have an immediate response with, that was the best party ever, best meal, really loved this night, thanks so much. So it's an immediate instant gratification.
Yeah, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Where's the wood? I don't know. It's all glass.
So, yeah.
Knock on the mirror. All right, without much further ado, and I think that's like my favorite phrase. I almost overuse it on the show. Without much further ado, I need to come up with a new transition. But we're gonna go ahead and get started on our succulent garden.
Wonderful.
But please enjoy this little break. We'll be back very soon. Welcome back to Jimmy's Decorative Moments. We're gonna go ahead and get started on our terrariums. Liz, so I put a terrarium vessel right in front of you, and I also have one in front of me. Yours is shaped, they're both different shapes, and I love my shape. It's sort of like, first of all, it has this little hook here that you can suspend it from the ceiling if you'd like. It's shaped like a pyramid, which I really like, and they're both very geometric and silver. And at home, honestly, if the only thing you have is something as simple as a cylinder, like a glass cylinder, you can use this as well to create a really beautiful terrarium, or even like succulent garden, or whatever, or it can hold loose flowers too. So, but we're gonna go ahead and use these today. And so I've laid out a few things in front of us, Liz. So we have some pebbles, we have some really ground rocks, and then we have this tinted rock, it's green. And I like this tinted rock because it's just like a different look, and I think I'm going to use it myself when creating the terrarium. So, and then we of course have some soil because that'll create the sort of support for the plants themselves. So the first thing we want to do is add rocks to the base layer, and then we're going to add the soil, and then we're going to start to play around with the plants. So which one of these rocks do you like the most?
I don't know. Isn't the whole point to create a lot of air?
Yes. So what we're doing with the rocks is that they kind of
so it doesn't like settle at the very bottom.
So it kind of lets the water sort of flow through and flow through slowly. Okay. So it provides better irrigation.
Sure.
So I'm going to use these as the base.
Okay.
But you can use whichever one of those, or use the same ones as me.
Can I mix and match?
Absolutely, of course.
Oh,
totally.
so do we do the small ones first?
Yep, we're gonna do these. Yep. So this is your base that you're using.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
I want a small handful of this.
I love it. I love like putting my hands in it. I feel like I'm in the playground.
I have a green thumb. I'm always in my garden.
So you have orchids at home, you said?
I do.
Okay.
My boyfriend has dubbed our apartment Elizabeth's Rehab, Orchid Rehab.
Why rehab?
Well, whenever we have fresh orchids at Mooo, and whenever the blooms start to fall off, we replace them. But it breaks my heart because what do you do? Do you throw them away? No. They're still Can we do this now?
Yeah, you can. Well, so I'm making, so what I'm doing now, I want to create a thicker layer because I want the rocks to not only serve a practical purpose, but also a decorative purpose too.
Gotcha.
So I want people to actually see like a nice sort of half-inch layer of these green rocks. I think it makes it kind of interesting. And I'm just gonna put the whole, kind of pour as much as I'd like in there.
Oh.
And leaving enough room for like soil and not making it too high because we do want to add that soil. But there we go. And now I feel really good about how high that is. I feel like if it's sitting on a desk, people will be able to see the green rocks.
That's true.
And it's sort of the reason I wanted to use the green to begin with. So yeah, and once you get a nice little layer going, we can go ahead and now add the soil.
Okay.
So if you want to bring over that little bag of soil, and I got these green pebbles at Jacobson.
Oh.
On Albany Street, and I also got the cactus succulent soil at Jacobson as well. And actually all the rocks too, I got at Jacobson. I love going to Jacobson and picking up some new product and things that I can decorate my arrangements with.
They always take care of my orchid needs.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. And then these terrariums actually came from Vase Source. I like to shop at Vase Source for really unique vases too. I'm a Vase Source ambassador.
Are you?
Yeah. I was actually just, I don't know if it's awarded Vase Force ambassadorship or
You
just,
dubbed it yourself?
but they released a blog to all of their people, like designers in New York and everything. So I was kind of excited about that. Oh, I love that you're doing 2 different rocks. See, you can have so much fun with this.
Yeah.
And actually, Liz, even when you're done sort of like adding your succulents and other botanicals for the terrarium, you can then add rocks on top of it to cover the soil. Some people like to see the soil, the dirt, some people don't. It's just really a personal preference. And if it's something that you're creating for yourself at home, then really it should just be whatever you want it to be. If it's a gift that you know that particular person has preferences, then design it according to their style. You finish with that while I go ahead and select the ones that I'm gonna work with.
No, I wanted that one.
Oh, you did?
I'm kidding.
And I'm just kind of selfishly grabbing the things that I want.
Oop. So you just want to cover the entirety of the rocks?
Yeah, you can cover the entirety of the rocks or not, you know.
So really, just do whatever you want.
Exactly, just do whatever. And that's what the fun part.
However the mood strikes.
However the mood strikes. And honestly, that really is the gist of it because it should just be whatever you want it to be.
Okay, I think that's enough for me.
Great. And so now the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab a succulent and I'm just actually like, and what I did is I kind of pushed the dirt to this off, like kind of created a little crater so then I can start to kind of put the succulent in there. And if you feel like it doesn't fit or it's too tall above the soil level, you can actually just remove some of the dirt from the base of it like this.
Sure.
And it doesn't harm the plant because the succulents, so you can just remove a little bit of it and then it starts to sit really comfortably inside. So that's what I'm doing with that one. And then you just kind of grab and go. I really love this jade plant a lot and I really want to use it in this. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it out of these little plastic pots, which are all biodegradable.
So which one is your favorite to use? Do you just like to mix and match or?
For succulents,
Yeah.
I do like to mix and match them because I just think like the more variety there is, the more unique. And actually, Liz, if you want some of this jade, I can give you some because I can break this apart.
I like the height on it.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's not all just one plant, so it's not, what I'm doing isn't harming it because it's actually growing separately.
Sure.
And also, you know what's funny about succulents is that if you grabbed like just a petal and dropped it in soil and watered it, eventually it would grow into a jade plant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, do they have different names? I've always been curious.
They do have different names.
Really?
Yeah,
Do you know them?
Yeah, well, this is jade, and these are echeveria. So yeah, they all have their own unique
Cool.
special names. Here you go.
Well, thank you. Ooh, I don't know.
Jades are my favorite, and they're lucky as well.
Are they?
They attract wealth.
Oh, even better. I think I'm already running out of room.
I know there's not an awful lot of space, and you can like it's okay for them to press up against the terrarium vessel. You know, and I'm trying to use. Yeah, let's see.
I might need a little bit more dirt. Now, how long do these will last forever, right?
They'll last as long as they're well cared for
Sure.
and they're getting enough light. They should definitely last. They don't need to be watered very often, and succulents don't like to be watered very often, but they should last a considerable period of time. And I kind of just want to make mine completely out of succulents. I did bring this Creeping Jenny, which you could definitely use. And what's cool about the Creeping Jenny is if I were to plant this directly in here, I could have it planted in the center, but then have it kind of crawl out of the base. But yours, it would look really cool too.
I might.
Yeah, you could definitely change the design of it because you could have it in the center and have it come out of the base. So your whole base could be all succulents, and then the Creeping Jenny can come out of the center.
I like that.
That's really pretty.
That's what I want to do.
Okay. Just copy what I just said. Pretty much.
I mean, I had that idea before you actually said it aloud.
It was in your soul.
So I'll give you credit if you really feel like you need to take credit for it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
I love it.
Yeah, I like the jade.
And then I'm just actually could use this other jade because I really like jade a lot.
Use this that I already broke.
Oh yeah, okay.
Save the jade.
Okay.
Now, do I need to add more soil? Because this is...
Add a little, yeah, well, if it's going, you can actually remove dirt from the base of it too. Just like we did with the succulents, you can remove dirt from the base of that. And then...
I need to make the hole a little bit bigger. I'm not gonna lie, this is more difficult than I thought.
It is difficult, and we're trying to do it within time constraints too. We have about 3 more minutes left, so put a pep in your step.
Well, I'm gonna have to come to your class.
Oh yeah.
Your terrarium class.
So yeah, because I'm teaching now. So for everyone who doesn't know, I'm teaching classes at Boston Center for Adult Education. And you can sign up for classes on their website. So I'm teaching a number of different classes. One of them is floral design and wine. One of them is terrarium and wine. So as you can see, there's
you had me at wine.
and
you
wine.
Had me at wine.
Decorative moments with Jimmy and wine.
So there's wine this afternoon?
Yeah, there is wine right after the show.
Perfect.
I'm drinking wine right now.
Even better.
And now I'm actually bringing rocks. I'm bringing rocks back, and I'm putting them at the top, just to kind of add a different, like, color story, and just a different texture. And honestly, I'm not the type to like to see a lot of soil, to be honest with you. I like to cover it up.
This is great.
This is so fun. No, I love doing this.
I've always wanted to do this.
And you know, and you can find small like plants, like really tiny ivy plants that really, and the idea is you're creating like a little world, like a little universe. So it's really fun because it's like, you know, all these little rocks. You honestly can even bring figurines in there, like little bridges and stuff like that, to really create like a beautiful decorative environment, you know?
Well, I know these can be pretty expensive whenever you're buying them from a florist.
Well, I mean, and look what we're doing and how time-consuming it is. It takes a lot of focus and a lot of energy and really a lot of resources. Like, there's a lot of product that goes into this.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
It's nice to have creative control, though.
Well, exactly, because it's like you can order a succulent garden from a florist, but it's like, what is it going to look like? You know, I mean, you can give your preferences, but because it's so easy, it's like, you know, just do it yourself. I mean, if you have the creative desire and the time, you know, you could just do it yourself. And so it's another fun, creative way that people can bring in a decorative moment into their homes. You know, if you're looking for something to decorate a space, you know, Home Depot sells soil and rocks and other items. They sell plants too. You can make a succulent garden with items that you buy even at a Home Depot or a local garden store. I went to Jacobson and I went to a shop right next to it. That's really for the industry. But you can find these products anywhere and you can just have fun. It doesn't take forever. Look, I just finished one and I'm gonna raise it up to the camera so you can take a look at it. I'm just gonna add a few more pebbles. But it's like, I like, and then you put water in there and they can be big too. I mean, honestly, a succulent garden or terrarium can be very large. Like if you have a large enough container, like this could fit, we could create a succulent garden terrarium that fills the whole table. Yeah. If it's big enough, you know, and how fun is that? Whew. Like I would make it look like a little park and I'd bring in mini conifers and you could have a lot of fun with that. But here is my terrarium. So I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the layer of green rocks.
I like it green on the bottom.
And then you can, I like the green too. And then you can see the dirt, the soil. So you do see a layer of soil, but then I have like some rocks to kind of cover, top dress the soil. And then you see all the little jade plants, and I have the one Echeveria succulent in there. And so the idea with this is then you would water it, rinse it out, and then you could do so you can either suspend this and hang it, because it does have that hook, or you could just actually just lay it on a counter and place it down, and that's fine too. But even in the camera, you can see all these like green happening. Oh my God, Liz, and I see yours. Like let's raise yours. It's like I'm just talking about just talking about myself, you know.
Okay, my turn.
I love it. It's so nice.
So do I need to add? So here's another view.
I would top dress it more.
Yeah.
Because
add
you
some
already
more rock.
Yeah, I would add more rocks on top of the creeping Jenny.
Yeah.
That way, it's just sort of, you have this nice layer, and maybe you could raise the Echeveria too.
Yeah,
just
that's what I was
just some feedback. But like, what you could do is instead of adding, well, you could add the green rocks too, or keep it that way. But I think that's really nice. Yeah, I love that, and I love how they all come out too. And look at you, made your little succulent. You get to take it home.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. So, thank you so much for joining us today on the show. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you enjoyed meeting Liz, because I certainly did, or have. So,
thank you. It is a pleasure to meet me. Yes, thank you.
So, and I hope you walk away from today's show just realizing that, you can bring in decorative moments into your life, whether it's in the garments that you wear, the items you use to decorate a space, like pillows and furnishings, or even just creating like a small little like terrarium. And also, Liz, thank you so much for letting us know so much more about Mooo, and I encourage you to go on Columbus Hospitality Group's website to learn more about their restaurants, because they have a really beautiful collection, a portfolio of spaces and restaurants, and even an inn.
Yeah.
Like a hotel. So, well, thank you again, and I'll look forward to seeing you at the next episode. Bye.